We have built a team of professional, competent, courteous, responsive people. We've earned a reputation with Democrats, Republicans, independents alike, that if you go to our congressional office, you're going to get first-rate constituent service. We are accessible, we are responsive, we're professional, and we want to help everybody. We don't care and we don't ask, who did you vote for? Our job is to be a zealous advocate for the people of Kentucky, and we've earned that reputation.
Welcome to Leadership Magnified. I'm Todd Faulkner. You just heard from this week's guest, Kentucky Congressman Andy Barr of the state's 6th District, the Lexington region. Currently serving his 7th term in the U.S. House of Representatives, he's now running for the U.S. Senate. He joins a crowded field of candidates vying to win Senator Mitch McConnell's seat. McConnell announced he would not run for re-election when his term ends later this year. Congressman Barr faces two others in the Republican primary. Whoever wins that race goes on to face the winner of the Democratic primary in November. During a recent visit to Paducah, Congressman Barr sat down with me in the PMG studios for a wide-ranging conversation. Hope you enjoy it. And welcome to Leadership Magnified. Joining me now from the 6th Congressional District, Congressman Andy Barr. Thanks for being here.
Todd, great to be with you.
We're going to jump into your platform and positions. First, before we do that, since it is Leadership Magnified, I have a two-parter to start off with.
Okay.
How would you describe your leadership style with your staff versus your leadership style with your colleagues, other folks in Congress?
Well, it's interesting because I think the ethic that we kind of instill in our team in the congressional office is that we don't take no for an answer. We imbue in our team the value of perseverance and persistence. And when our constituents in Central Kentucky, I've served in Congress now for 7 terms in the U.S. House, and typically when a constituent comes to us, we're their last stop. They've been told no and no over and over and over again. And so even though we are federal employees, we don't view ourselves that way. We view ourselves as advocates for our constituents to the government. And we don't take no for an answer. We're usually their last hope to get their problem resolved. The only reason why they're coming to us is they've already heard the word no over and over again. We're the ones who are going to say yes to our constituents.
And that's a message that you dictate down through all of your staff.
It is, and I've been very blessed. We have built a team of professional, competent, courteous, responsive people. We've earned a reputation with Democrats, Republicans, independents alike, that if you go to our congressional office, you're going to get first-rate constituent service. We are accessible, we are responsive, we're professional, and we want to help everybody. We don't care and we don't ask, who did you vote for? Our job is to be a zealous advocate for the people of Kentucky. And we've earned that reputation. I think that's why in a swing purple district in Central Kentucky, we've won over and over again. And I've always said, if you do the job you were elected to do, the politics will take care of itself.
How would you describe your leadership then with your colleagues on the House floor?
Well, I think they would also say that I'm persistent, maybe to a fault. I think I have earned a reputation for being able to work across the aisle, and I am a conservative and unapologetic conservative who was raised in the era of Ronald Reagan. I have my beliefs and my values. I'm an America First conservative. I was chairman of President Trump's campaign in 2024 in Kentucky. Raised in the era of Ronald Reagan means that I believe in limited government, free enterprise, and a strong national defense. I'm pro-life, I'm pro-Second Amendment, and I back the blue, and I'm pro-veteran, and I believe in a strong military. So I have my values, but I think you owe it to your philosophy to win. I'm more of a workhorse than a show horse. And in order to be an effective conservative, I actually work with Democrats when I can find overlapping interest. I don't compromise my principles, but I want to get things done for the people of Kentucky and to advance my cause. And so I'm willing to work with anyone. And if we can find common ground for the benefit of the American people, that's what my colleagues would say about me, is that I will work to get the problem solved.
One more question about leadership and then we'll move on. I always notice when I'm on the Hill reporting that whether it's a senator or a congressman or a congresswoman, they're staff seems to be younger, or there's always those like seasoned top 3 or 4, and then there's like a bunch of young staffers. So my question is, what would be your piece of advice to some of these younger people, not necessarily your staff, but just younger people in general, as they start to develop their leadership skills?
Well, of course, public service has been an incredibly rewarding line of work for me, and I believe in public service, but I also believe in the private sector. I believe in free enterprise. I believe in limited government. And I think a lot of problems can be solved in the nonprofit world, in the faith-based world, in the private sector world. And so don't always gravitate towards government as the answer. Sometimes government is actually the problem. Often it is. And so my advice to young people is, great, have your run in public service, learn about working in government. It's a noble cause because you can do wonderful things and make a difference. That's the only reason actually to run for office or to work in public service, is to want to make a difference. But don't discount a tour of duty in the private sector, in the faith-based world, in the not-for-profit world, where you can do a lot of wonderful things and have consequence and impact and change the world outside of government. And I think that gives you a better perspective about what government does well, what government may not do as well, and leave space for civil society. Leave space for civil society, and remember that government should be limited and do only the things that government can do, and leave the other things that government doesn't do well, leave that to the private sector.
Okay. Let's move to the campaign. What is your elevator pitch to the Kentucky voter to get you in the Senate?
Well, the reason why I'm running for the Senate is I want to prevent the country from committing suicide, and I want to restore the American dream. And the far left in this country seems to want the country to commit suicide, whether it's opening the border and letting drugs and crime flow into our country, whether it is moving away from reliable energy, whether it is turning common sense on its head by forcing biological men and girls sports, or teaching our kids woke ideology instead of the founding of our country, transforming our country into something we don't recognize, punishing success through higher taxes and regulation, replacing free enterprise with socialism, dismantling our national defense, and putting woke policies in our military, and appeasing China and apologizing for terrorists and anti-Semitic views. That to me is committing suicide. What I want to do is I want to restore the American dream. I want to reward success. I want to reward hard work through low taxes, low regulations, free enterprise. I want to defeat socialism. I want national energy dominance. I want a strong national defense. I want to rebuild our military. I want to honor our veterans. I want to back the blue, law enforcement, secure the border. All of those things are really on the line. And my argument to the people of Kentucky is I'm in the best position to achieve that. I'm in the best position because I have a record of advocacy for conservative policies. These other politicians that I'm running against in the Republican primary, they like to talk about the fact that they support President Trump or they're a Trump guy. I'm actually doing it every day. I'm working with the president, the administration every single day to enact this agenda. They talk about the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Families Tax Cut bill. I actually helped to write it. I helped to write the bill to make no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, bonus depreciation, the small business tax deduction, the Made in America tax cut that brought $2.5 billion to my district already, to the Corning plant, where we're building the iPhone, or these Trump accounts that will give Americans, a new generation of Americans, financial independence and financial literacy, making a new generation of capitalists. So they like to talk about supporting President Trump. I'm actually doing it every single day. And unlike the other candidates, I actually have a record of being an effective legislator and delivering results already. There's no learning curve with me. I have a record of 13 years of advocacy for Central Kentucky. And so the people of Kentucky can have confidence that I can hit the ground running on day one without having to have a learning curve. And then the final point is this. If you're a conservative, if you're a Republican, if you support President Trump, you owe it to your philosophy to win. And the Democrats are releasing polls that show that my opponents are neck and neck with the leading Democratic candidates. We should not take the general election for granted. A Democrat is the governor of Kentucky, and he's the governor because he defeated one of my primary opponents. The only way a Democrat can win statewide in Kentucky is to do it the way Andy Barr did it, by beating my primary opponent by 19 points in my district. I represent the one purple swing district that the Democrats have to have in order to win a statewide election. I can block their path. So if you want a proven winner, someone who has been battle tested, Nancy Pelosi has spent $20 million in one single cycle against me. And over again, the Democrats have tried to defeat me because I flipped a Democratic seat and have held it ever since, fighting big government ever since. I'm a winner. I've got a proven record of being an effective advocate and delivering results for the people of Central Kentucky. And I don't just talk about supporting President Trump, I do it every day in Congress.
Walk us through your energy plan for Kentucky.
Well, West Kentucky is an energy juggernaut, both in terms of what we see at the Paducah Gaseous Diffusion Plant, the DOE site, designated for AI infrastructure going forward because we need nuclear power to win the race for AI. I was very glad to be able to advocate for Paducah with Secretary Chris Wright. Had a great conversation with him before the announcement of the $900 million grant to General Matter for the enrichment. You know, the future of building an American nuclear energy dominant industry is nuclear fuel. And the real headwind or the barrier to really building up a nuclear power industry of consequence in this country is the deficiency or the lack of nuclear fuel. Paducah's the solution. And with this $900 million grant, $1.5 billion investment from the company General Matter, that's going to help propel jobs and the position of Paducah forward in solving that problem, and also global laser enrichment. They received a grant, not as big of a grant, but they received a grant. They've been here for a long time, and they've got amazing advanced technology to continue to provide the nuclear fuel of the future by re-enriching the tails, the uranium tails, to the point where just that one effort could provide 10% of the total demand for nuclear power in the United States for the next 30 years. So on the nuclear front, West Kentucky, Paducah is in a really good position to help advance our national security on the technologies of the future and powering those technologies. But don't forget about the bridge to that future, and that is coal. In Union County and Henderson County in the Illinois Basin in Western Kentucky, it's a geological miracle. We're still sitting on an ocean of coal. And we want to bring coal-fired power back to the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We've retired 290 coal plants, most of them premature retirements over the last 16 years with the Obama and Biden war on coal. Not only have we lost 15,000 coal mining jobs in Kentucky, but we've lost our capacity to provide the baseload dispatchable firm power that we need to win with these technologies of the future. These are very energy intensive industries: artificial intelligence, quantum computing, digital assets. My vision as the next United States Senator from Kentucky is to take our nuclear dominance in coal and nuclear, our energy dominance, nuclear and coal in Western Kentucky, and position the entire Commonwealth to power these technologies of the future. And it's a national security imperative that we win the race for these technologies, because China is racing ahead and we have to win, and the consequences of losing that race for AI are unfathomable.
I was having a conversation just this week with a local county leader, and we were discussing how some people who are in the know, but getting the word out, especially to West Kentucky, that, I mean, Paducah is at the precipice of just exploding with success, because you've got the AI Center, you got General Matter, all these things are coming to a head. But what I want to ask is, you mentioned AI. What is your take on regulating AI in any way, shape, or form? Because I've read some articles, people on both sides of the aisle are kind of a little trepidatious about it.
Sure, there's, like any other new innovation, there's upsides and downsides, and there's risks and there's opportunities. But AI is here and it's here to stay, and we need to be the global leader in artificial intelligence. And so when you think of regulation, we don't need a patchwork of conflicting and inconsistent rules state by state. and you have some of these blue states that are anti-innovation, and they've enacted very draconian regulatory regimes that will stifle American leadership in artificial intelligence, which has tremendous potential to drive productivity, economic growth, and innovation in medicine, in law, in education, in manufacturing. We don't have the labor supply in this country to compete with China. They have more people. So we really have to build a whole new fleet of AI-powered factories to reclaim American manufacturing dominance once again. We need workers, and there is a fear that AI will replace or displace workers.
Exactly is the argument, yeah.
But the flip side of that coin is it's going to create a whole new set of jobs. We need electricians, we need plumbers, we need manufacturers, we need people who will actually repair and maintain these robots that will drive manufacturing dominance in the future. We need energy jobs. We need to put coal miners back to work. We need jobs at General Matter and at GLE in Paducah to drive this enrichment. We need coders, and we need people who are going to develop these models, these AI models. The whole AI stack will create a whole new set of new jobs. You know, if you think about it, robotics, autonomous weapons, the defense industrial base, all of this is going to be powered by AI. That's a job explosion. So yes, there is some legitimate concerns about AI displacing jobs, but a whole new set of jobs will be created. Bottom line, America needs to win the AI race. Kentucky, because of our energy-rich opportunities in natural gas, in coal, in nuclear, and yes, in hydropower, because of all the rivers that we have here, we have the potential to be an energy juggernaut to help drive these technologies of the future and American leadership in these technologies of the future. That's my vision for Kentucky. And if you think about West Kentucky has just tremendous opportunities. We have existing manufacturing prowess. We have our nuclear energy industry. We have coal, which I believe has to have a future. Not whether it'll have a future, we have to have a future for coal. The river industry, which is connected to the coal industry. Our agriculture sector, grains, obviously corn and beans. That is hugely, hugely important. And then tourism, land between the lakes, has enormous potential that I think is untapped for tourism. And then, of course, the defense industrial base potential with Fort Campbell in West Kentucky. I just see a very bright future for this region of Kentucky. It would be an amazing privilege to get a chance to advocate for all of those industries in West Kentucky.
I did have one more question, and then we'll kind of wrap things up. But regarding the DOE Paducah site, retiring Senator McConnell has been very successful at securing hundreds of millions of dollars for cleanup. That's going to take another 30, 40 years, who knows how long. Is that something that, if elected to the position, you feel like you can continue to do to secure that money?
Absolutely. And this is, again, what differentiates me from my opponents. I have existing relationships in Washington. I can pick up the phone and I can call Secretary Chris Wright. President Trump knows that I've been with him. The existing senators who are there, I have existing relationships with them. I've served with them in the House. I've worked with them in the Senate. I have a great relationship with the Speaker of the House and the Majority Leader in the House and all of my colleagues in the House. And I know how to get things done. And you don't have to take my word for it. You could just ask the county judges or the magistrates or the mayors in Central Kentucky who I have served, or my constituents who I've served in Central Kentucky over the last 13 years in Congress. I don't have a learning curve, and let's face it, we're losing influence in Washington. You want a senator who can step in right away on day one and continue to deliver for the people of Western Kentucky.
Okay. We're going to end the podcast how we've been ending them. Doesn't matter if you're a mayor or a congressman or who. A little fun, a little draw back the curtain on your personality. You probably are very busy, so I don't know if you can answer this question. How do you unwind at the end of the day?
Well, I spend time with my kids. This campaign has taken me away from my kids. My day job in Washington, D.C. as a member of Congress takes me away from my kids, but they're my inspiration. They're why I'm running. I have 4 of them. I have 2 teenage daughters, a volleyball star in high school, a dancer and an actress who is my second youngest. And then I have a second set of kiddos, and they're new. They're a 2-year-old boy, Hale, and a brand new baby girl, Virginia. She's 3 months old, and I'm really excited about Virginia because she's eligible for a Trump account, $1,000 Trump account, and we're going to start her on saving and giving her a jump start on the American dream. But when I have the limited free time I have, I spend time with my family.
Which leads me to the last question. Is there anything you're reading or watching that, if you have time to read or watch any streaming shows?
I read I read newspapers a lot, but books, I love biographies. I love studying American history. I love Revolutionary War history. Because my son is named Hale, I've been reading a lot recently about Nathan Hale. I named my son after Nathan Hale, the patriot, who in the summer of 1776 volunteered to be a spy in General Washington's Continental Army. He went behind enemy lines, and he was famous because he was ratted out by a loyalist. He was hanged by General William Howe of the British Army, and before he was hanged, he was asked if he had any regrets for his treason against King George, and he said, "I have only one regret, that I have only one life to give for my country, the United States of America." And that was an inspirational story, and one of the reasons why I named my son after Hale. So I've been reading a lot about Nathan Hale recently.
I'll have to pick up a book on him. All right, Congressman Barr, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We've invited Barr's Republican opponents, Daniel Cameron and Nate Morris, to sit down for an episode of Leadership Magnified. Both camps have said they'll work out a date in the near future. Next week on Leadership Magnified, the first female president and CEO in Paducah Bank history, Ashley Johnson. Hope you'll join us. Video and sound on this episode, Bryce Patterson, and editing by Brian Clapp. See you next week. Stay safe, friends.